Hey y'all, welcome back to Cooking with Siobhan. I'm Siobhan Muir and this is Mr. SM, and today we are going to make gluten-free sweet and sour chicken. Now, this is a recipe that comes out of Gluten-Free on a Shoestring by Nicole Hun, so I say it right. We're gonna modify the recipe a little bit because the way she's showing the pictures here, it looks like orange chicken. And we're making sweet and sour chicken, and the way we've had sweet and sour chicken, there's always a little bit of breading. So we're gonna bread the chicken first, and we're not gonna do it very much. You're not gonna need very much, but I will tell you what you need to put together so that you can do it the way we do it, or you can always find her original recipe on glutenfreeonashoestring.com, I believe. So here's how we're going to do this. What you're going to need is 2 pounds of boneless, skinless chicken. It can be thighs, it could be breast, it could be whatever. But you need 2 pounds of boneless, skinless chicken. Then you need about a 1/4 cup of gluten-free flour. Just a small 1/4 cup of gluten-free flour. And you're going to put it in just to a container that you're going to toss the chicken in, okay? To that, you are going to add 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. This helps it not only thicken, but stick to the chicken, and it'll make sense, I promise. Eventually what you're going to need also is, this is part of the ingredients, a 1/4 teaspoon freshly ground black pepper. It doesn't have to be exactly a 1/4 teaspoon. Do as much as your heart desires. Like that. He's mixing up, this will be the breading that we're going to put on the chicken. While he's doing that, I'm going to tell you a few of the other things you're going to need. You're going to need 3 tablespoons of toasted sesame oil or a neutral cooking oil because this is what you're going to cook it in on the stove. You'll need enough garlic to be about 5 cloves crushed and peeled. 2 carrots, they're in here, cut into 1/2-inch chunks and about 2 inches long. 2 sweet bell peppers of any color cut into 1.5-inch chunks. You can see those here. 4 scallions chopped into little bits. And then the one recipe of the sweet and sour sauce, which we will show you eventually. But what he's basically doing is just taking the chicken, tossing them in the breading, and coating everything. Now, if he runs out of flour and pepper and stuff like that, don't worry, you just repeat it again. You'll put in a 1/4 cup of flour with 2 tablespoons of cornstarch and just repeat it. So don't worry if it doesn't coat everything, although it looks like it's going to.
It's looking pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, we did start with about 3 cups or 3 pounds of chicken meat, so.
Yeah, so we put in a little extra, but 2 to 3 pounds, whatever you want to do, and whatever kind of chicken you like.
What's the next step there?
Okay, it says, in a large non-stick skillet, over medium-high heat, heat the sesame oil. Heat your oil, which they did say 3 tablespoons. Again, do what feels right with the amount of meat you have. You don't want it to burn, but on the other hand, you don't want it to be so oily that it doesn't cook very well. And add the chicken to the pan and cook in 2 batches if necessary for 5 to 7 minutes. So that's what we'll be doing, is cooking the meat for 5 to 7 minutes.
And we have already started some rice to go with the dish, so that's already starting to slowly but surely simmer. So we'll have that with it. And just making rice, how we've done it in the past is a little bit of oil in a pan. In this case, we used 1.5 cups of rice. So stirred the rice around with a little bit of oil, put in double the amount of water, so 3 cups of water to 1.5 cups of rice, and we just let it to a slow simmer, and that's it. So I'm waiting for the pan to get nice and hot, and I'm going to start throwing in the good stuff. And the original recipe called for regular garlic cloves. We ran out of garlic cloves this morning, so we're going to use granulated garlic, and so we're going to estimate out about how much it is and go from there. And like Siobhan said, when it comes to the oil, go with what you might need to be comfortable with. At the end, you're going to end up having a sauce. So if you have a little excess, you have a little excess.
If you had garlic cloves or minced garlic, you would saute it now in the oil so it gets fragrant and spreads the flavor around. Because we're doing granulated garlic, I'm gonna suggest he puts the chicken in, then adds the garlic on top of that and mix it together. Ooh, but the sesame oil smells wonderful.
Yes, it does.
It just makes me happy.
I'm just scattering the meat around so that it doesn't create too much of a splash. I'm gonna take this garlic now.
Yep. Be sure to have a bowl set aside for when you're done cooking, because you're going to put the cooked chicken in here, but you're going to leave some of the sauce and oil in the pan to continue.
So this is about 6 tablespoons, or 5 to 6 tablespoons of oil right now.
But with this amount of chicken, it makes sense. And they want you to cook this till it's lightly browned and cooked through. So you don't want any pink left on your chicken bits, and you want it to be slightly browned.
And just constantly keep stirring so it doesn't stick to the pan. So we are done with making the chicken. We're going to start making the sauce real quick and then come back to putting together the last of it.
To make the sauce, in a medium bowl, whisk together 2 tablespoons of gluten-free soy sauce, or we use the Braggs. This only has cornstarch in it, so don't worry, you're going to add cornstarch to the dish. So if I add that together, it won't matter. You'll need a tablespoon of cornstarch, a 1/3 of a cup of rice vinegar. This is the old one, this is the new one, they're basically the same. There. 1/3 of a cup of rice vinegar. 1/4 of a cup of gluten-free tomato ketchup. Again, look very carefully. We tend to use Hunt's 100% natural because it doesn't have any corn syrup in it. And since it's not very good with corn syrup, we prefer this. Now, if you don't happen to have a 1/4 of a cup lying around, 4 tablespoons is a 1/4 of a cup of anything. Alright. A 1/4 of a cup of granulated sugar and 3/4 of a cup of lukewarm water. Pour mixture into a medium saucepan and cook over medium-high heat, whisking frequently until it has thickened and reduced by half. So this will be a lot of stirring for a little while. So what we've discovered is that it takes about, well, we've been doing this for about 10, 12 minutes.
Yeah, 10 to 15 minutes.
Right, and so it's probably wise to do this first before you cook the chicken, because even if this is cool by the time that you use it in your pan, you'll be heating it back up again, so it's no big deal. But it takes a long enough time that you're going to want to do the sauce before you do the other food, because you will combine it all together.
And the one recommendation I would make versus how the recipe calls for occasionally stirring, I would stir throughout, because one of the things about having a bit of the sugar in this and probably the cornstarch is it has the tendency to burn to the bottom of the pan.
So it said frequently.
Well,
whisk.
but
I would do it constant.
I would not. I would
do it
stir the
constant.
whole time.
All right, it's
Yeah,
ready.
It's ready. So we're gonna put this to the side. I'm gonna turn the heat down just a little bit. We're gonna get started on the veggies and so on, and that'll thicken some more while it cools.
So now that we're leaving the liquid in as possible, add the carrots and peppers to the pan and cook over medium-high heat in the liquid until softened. This is where also I would add the 2 tablespoons of soy sauce in this recipe because it'll help flavor, unless you want to wait until after the chicken gets back in.
No, let's do it with the vegetables
Okay.
because then we'll have it start. But we might want to add a little water to it so that way you can steam the veggies.
Sure.
So I'm gonna get some water.
Okay. So you're going to need 2 tablespoons of gluten-free soy sauce. There you go.
Let that steam for 4 to 5 minutes.
This is a great way to, you don't have to toss it. This is a great way to just soften vegetables. You let the heat and the water do the work. Oh yeah. I can smell it too.
So when you start seeing that the peppers are starting to get a little translucent, take the lid off and let the water steam off and so forth.
So, now what you need to do is reduce the heat because you don't want this to be scalding. Reduce the heat down to medium and re-add all the chicken back in.
And we're doing it this way just to heat up the chicken again so that we can add the scallions and the sauce and do the final little simmer so it comes together. But the chicken's been sitting out for a little while in this instance, so
Kind of
we
want
just
to
need to
reheat
heat
it, yeah.
and give it about 2 minutes. All right.
Dude, how many bowls did we use?
You say I use a lot of bowls for my dishes. This is not fair. You got to comment about your use of bowls today. All right.
Okay, so there's where you add the,
Scallion.
and then you cook on low. You don't want to burn the sauce.
Yep. Let's put the sauce on.
And you add the sauce. Add the homemade sweet and sour sauce. On low heat, cook over low heat for 2 to 3 minutes until the ingredients are well combined and the sauce is heated through. Serve immediately over rice. Ta-da! Look! Sweet and sour chicken made homemade, gluten-free no less. Wow, that looks wonderful.
Well, this is your
And-
dish, so try it.
It's hot, too. It's very hot. Oh, that's good.
That was nice.
That is nice.
That was nice.
Yeah, that looks beautiful.
Now, about the only thing I would do different is put bigger chunks of onion in it.
I think I would add a little more sugar
Yep.
to the sauce. But other than that, I think it's really good.
Mhm.
All right, so there you have it. Gluten-free sweet and sour chicken, homemade with a little bit of extra breading from Mr. SM. So thank you for joining us. Definitely ring the bell to find out when you have new videos. Like and comment on this video, like and comment on other videos. Subscribe to the channel so you know when new videos are going to be up and you find out all the nitty-gritty of doing this this cooking thing. Also, sign up for Patreon because it not only helps me as the author, but you get the cooking videos as well as all the writing things that are exclusive. Ooh. And that's patreon.com/c/Siobhan Muir. Go and find out what we've been posting. So yeah, thank you so much for joining us. Happy making, happy baking, happy eating, and happy reading. Bye!
Bye.